While a lot of people will feel this episode didn't advance our story as much, I'm here to tell you there's actually a lot more under the surface. So let's recap the events of episode 2 of The Curse, and I'll share what stood out to me and why I think this was actually a fantastic episode. Let's get to it. The episode opens with a shot of a positive pregnancy test, and then we quickly cut to Asher speaking to the reporter who tells him she can't run his story about the casino without security footage. Asher says he knows where it is and he'll get it to her. He then heads to the casino, and an employee and old friend, Bill, shares information about more tactics they're using to keep gambling addicts in the casino. Asher hopes to follow him back to the employee area to get to the security footage, but is unsuccessful. We cut to Whitney speaking to the governor of the San Pedro Pueblo about their community, and she invites him to an art exhibit being put on by her friend in Santa Fe, and he agrees to go. Next, we see Whitney and Asher at dinner, and Whitney is deleting Instagram comments saying she copied an artist named Doug Aitken, who makes homes in a very similar style as Whitney is doing. They sit down to dinner with Kara, the artist, and Whitney shares these accusations of her copying Doug Aitken, and it seems like Kara agrees. Whitney tries to smooth things over with a compliment of Kara's art and how good it looks in their homes, which seems to irritate Kara even more, as she says she would not be okay with them using her art for staging. After some tense and awkward conversation, Kara bails on dinner, and as she's leaving, Whitney tells her that she's invited the governor of the Pueblo to her opening. Whitney then breaks the news to Asher that she's pregnant, which sends Asher over the moon with excitement, but Whitney says she's not ready to share the news with anyone quite yet. Next, we see Dougie at dinner with a girl, and he's sharing a story of a drunk driving accident when his wife was killed while he was driving. He goes on to say that he was barely over the limit and it would have happened anyway because they were T-boned by someone running a red light. After dinner, he offers to give his date a drive, and she's hesitant to get in with him after the story he just told, paired with the fact that he was just drinking during their meal, but he convinces her to join him anyway. On the drive, he seems really out of it and ends up taking a breathalyzer test, which shows that he's over the limit, so he pulls off the road and they walk the rest of the way. Then we see Asher back at the casino, where he's set up a meeting to discuss an idea he had to help the casino make more money. They don't seem too interested and tell him they'll be in touch. On his way out, he convinces Bill to take him to his computer so he can show him a funny viral video. When the video plays, Asher spills a drink and even pours it on Bill to make as big a mess as possible. Bill then leaves to get some paper towels to clean up the mess, and this gives Asher the time he needs to steal the security footage and make his way out of the casino. On his way out, he runs into Dougie at the blackjack table, who seems to be feeling lost with the show in limbo. We're then back with Whitney at one of her homes when a bird slams into the side of the house. She says it's the second one and that it needs to be cleaned up. This is the ultimate gentrification metaphor, with a house that tries so hard to blend into its surroundings but is ultimately still a danger. Next, Whitney and Asher attend Kara's art exhibit, where we see some interesting pieces, most of all being a performative art piece where Kara offers a piece of turkey to someone and then screams at them. When Whitney went in the structure, though, after screaming, Kara also said, "Why did you do that?" which she doesn't seem to say to anyone else. After the exhibit, we see Whitney and Asher at the doctor, where they learn that the pregnancy will have to be terminated because it isn't viable, likely because of a previous abortion. They go back to the car to discuss what happened and how Asher is wanting to try again in 6 weeks. The episode ends with Asher saying, "You know you can tell me anything, right?" and Whitney responding, "Of course." And of course, if you're enjoying The Curse and this video, be sure to subscribe and come back each week for these recaps. All right, so this episode felt like a lot of tension building, with Dougie's erratic behavior, the bird slamming into the side of the house, the loss of the pregnancy, and more. It's definitely feeling like that curse placed on them back in episode 1 is affecting them in multiple ways. What this episode lacks in plot movement, it more than makes up for in unsettling moments. We're clearly on a slow burn descent into madness and mayhem, and I'm enjoying every uncomfortable minute of it. In terms of where I think we're headed, it's really hard to say, but it definitely looks like things are crumbling around Whitney and Asher before they're really even able to get things moving for them. Definitely seems evident that Whitney's desire to position herself as some sort of savior to this community isn't going to work out for her. And that will largely be due to her own narcissistic desires to be some rescuer that nobody even asked for. Asher definitely isn't helping things with his own reckless behavior to try to prevent that interview from airing, which, again, is because of their own wrongdoing. I also think this episode is setting up something with Dougie, as he's teetering on the edge of sanity here. He says he's really nothing without his work, and with the show in limbo as they wait on the networks, it looks like he's kind of lost without having purpose. So I'm willing to bet that he's going to be bringing some more pain to the group in the coming episodes. I'm kind of loving that everything going wrong for our characters is actually because of their own wrongdoing up to this point in their lives. It sends a true but harsh message that those people out there that are like, the world's out to get me, really, they've done it to themselves out of their own self-interest and greed. The writing here is top-notch. The cinematography is incredible, and the score is great, all coming together to really elevate the experience of this show. I cannot wait for episode 3, and I'd love to hear what you're thinking so far, so be sure to let me know down in the comments, and I hope to see you after the next episode. See ya.